So we're live again with Dominic Kahumbu, who is my brother. And Dominic is a innovator, farmer, I don't know, everything guy. Okay, so Dominic, behind you are some yummy looking veggies. So tell me what's going on back here.
This is our eco-resource center from Biogas International, where we practice renewable energy and permaculture, which is incorporating the biogas into the agricultural sector. Because the two, biogas and agriculture, go hand in hand. Because what comes out of the digester, which is our stomach, is ready, a very rich organic fertilizer.
Okay, so all these vegetables are being fertilized by just stuff that's coming out of a biogas digester?
Absolutely, yeah. What we do is, basically you need to build your soil. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is you make compost. So there's three-stage compost.
So here's the compost.
Yeah, so this is the first stage.
I see a dog enjoying the compost. What's he doing?
Heat.
Contributing?
It's nice and warm. That shows you that it's nice and warm. The temperatures here are, as we saw just now, below 17 degrees.
It's quite cool day in Nairobi, yeah.
Yeah, but the dog's getting nice warm temperature there. He's either there or in the greenhouse of the biogas plants.
Okay, so we're going to get to the biogas in a second. So here's the compost that goes onto those vegetables over there.
Well, this is stage one of the compost. So the way you make compost is you rotate this after 10 days. You turn it onto this pile here.
Oh, so this is what this pile is.
Exactly.
That's
then
the
this
turned
pile
compost.
turns onto that pile there.
Okay, and then
So by the time it's fermented the third time or composted the third time, it's about 30 days old. We then add the bioslurry from the biogas digester to that.
Okay.
And then apply the enriched compost.
So bioslurry sounds a bit disgusting. Can you show me? Show me the biogas and what goes on there.
Okay. So what we did was we looked at conventional biogas technologies and looked at, they're big, they're bulky, they're stone, they're masonry and what have you.
So these are the big stone dome underground things that we hear about.
Precisely, yeah. They are, I would say they've done their time. They are, they're over 250 years old.
Okay.
The knowledge they had of dome systems, of biogas back then, compared to the knowledge we have today, we know so much more today, but the dome system hasn't changed. We like to compare people's phones and say 20 years ago you had the Mulika Mwizi phone and today it's a computer with a phone app. In 20 years, phones have seriously changed. The dome system hasn't changed in 250 years.
So what's so special about these systems that you have here?
Number one, we're above ground because underground is cool. So when you want to ferment something, you want it to be warm. So we're putting it above ground and in a greenhouse that makes it very, very warm. Don't forget the digestive process. So we're using the same microorganisms that are present in the digestive tract of a cow. And the cow's body temperature is 36 to 37 degrees Celsius. So the warmer you get to that temperature, the faster and the more efficient the digestive process will be.
Okay,
by putting it underground in a conventional system, it's like putting milk in the fridge. You're cooling it.
Oh, you're slowing everything down.
Slowing everything down, which means you need a very large digester and a lot of feedstock in order to give you sufficient volumes of gas.
So show me how this works.
So this is very, very simple. It's actually a longitudinal tube. They're 6 meters long. If you look inside, so the green, you can even feel the warmth coming out, even though it's cloudy.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. You can feel heat coming out.
It's quite a cool day, but it's very warm over here.
Yeah, as I was saying, the dogs love it in there. Those are all the dog footprints on the...
The dogs have been walking on the biogas.
Yeah, they climb on there and they sleep on there.
Nice water
nice
bed.
and warm.
Lovely water bed for the dogs. Okay, so what's this tube out here?
This is the feeder. So you want to keep the greenhouse as closed as possible to keep as much heat as you can inside. So this is the feeder. You literally feed inside there.
So you pour your stuff into that?
Yes. So, for instance, here we have all the grey water that comes from the house is collects here. The shower water, the sink water, all of that water collects here. Even with soap, we don't want to use detergent.
I thought you're supposed to put cow dung in here.
I am, but the cow dung is a bit far for now. But we can...
The cow is in the field. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll just show you.
And you only have one cow, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
One cow. So all you do is you pour.
You just pour it in. So this would be a mixture of cow dung water. Okay. That one full bucket of cow dung plus 1 bucket of water will give you enough gas to even cook githeri.
Wow. To cook githeri, like 8 hours of cooking?
Well, no, 3 hours.
3 hours of cooking.
It takes 3 hours to cook. Yeah, but because it's warm.
So wait, for my viewers, githeri is beans, right?
Maize and beans,
Maize and beans.
traditional dish maize and beans. It has different names in different tribes.
So which actually is related to what you're doing, because these biogas digesters are designed for people who live traditional life out in the farms in Kenya, and they have maybe one cow. They can recycle their domestic water. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And they're using the gas basically to cook traditional food like githeri and you know, traditional vegetables and those kind of things.
Precisely.
Okay.
Now one very important component is, this is a smaller one. It looks bigger, but it's actually smaller than this one.
Mm-hmm.
This will do all of your domestic cooking and your hot water.
Okay. You can get hot water, so you can actually put this into a hot water heater.
Yes, you can, or you can just heat water on your karai, the normal way they do on the three-stone fire. But the water heater itself is a bit tech and a bit expensive.
Okay.
So people just prefer to just use put the sufri on the stove and just make your water hot.
So take me through this. So I can see there are pipes coming out at the other end. Let's walk down there and see where the pipes go.
Yeah. Okay. What I was. Let's go around this way. Because this system will produce, it can handle up to about 2.5 to 3 cows, depending on how much dung you get. So you're going to get 2 to 3 times more gas than you need. So the most important factor is that when the traditional rural woman stops collecting firewood, she normally spends 2 to 3 hours a day collecting firewood. Now she's got 2 to 3 hours a day for the rest of her life free, that she hasn't had before. Women start collecting firewood at the age of around 5, and they literally collect firewood till they go to the grave. So
basically you're creating a lot of free time for women.
It's more than half of their working life is actually suddenly available to them. And so a lot of them haven't gone to school, so they really need to know what to do with this time. They actually go into a panic mode. And so we then increase the size of the system. So this one will give you far more gas than you need. So with this, it's a large domestic system. We call it extra large, XL domestic system. You can now do all sorts of things. You can pasteurize certain volumes of milk. You can do chicken brooding. You can do other value-added things to other farm produce. And
because you've got energy.
Because you've got energy.
And the energy is practically free because it's just coming from your cow's rear end.
Yeah, yeah. And not just your cow. These systems will run on any biodegradable material. So you can run cow dung, you can run goat dung, you can run pig dung, you can run poultry dung. So poultry dung you cannot run poultry dung in other conventional technologies. They turn acidic and then they stop producing gas. This system will give you about 4 times more gas than cow dung when you use chicken dung. So it means that poultry farming is the second largest agricultural animal husbandry practiced in Eastern Central Africa. And probably in the rest of Africa as well. So
you've created a really wonderful way of turning dung into energy and then into more agricultural fertilizer.
Exactly.
Okay, so there are pipes coming out of this. I'm just going to follow.
So it's not just dung as well. You can use kitchen waste. You can use market waste. You can use. We're running plants on water hyacinth. We're running plants on.
Wait, so you're saying you can take plants which are considered to be basically
invasive pests.
Yeah, invasive, dangerous plants like hyacinth and prosopis or cactus, and you can put them into these plants as well.
Exactly, and turn them into and they'll give you much more gas than even the chicken dung. About 4 or 5 times more gas.
Really, because it kind of makes sense because they've not been digested by anything.
They're
still
full of energy,
full of their natural energy. Okay, let's keep going.
One very important weed that we're considering is this. Everyone knows this.
What is it?
Castor. Oh. Its oil content is about 30 to 40% oil in the seeds. Crush the seeds into your biogas digester and your gas just goes off the scale. It has huge volumes of gas.
Okay, yeah. Wow. And this is something that you see all over the place, roadsides and...
Absolutely.
There's another horrible plant called datura. Have you heard of datura?
Yes. Now, we don't want to use that because what comes out of the digester when you're using this, you can feed to animals.
But you can't feed datura, it's poisonous, deadly poisonous. Okay,
so you don't want to feed animals. See, if you can imagine, this is a stomach, right?
Right, it's just like a stomach.
Exactly, so if you're feeding it non-animal waste, if you're feeding it vegetable waste and market waste and what have you, what's coming out here is digested soup, if you may. You can feed that directly to animals. They would absorb it very, very quickly. They wouldn't need to digest it because it's already been digested.
That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually an animal feed plus a fertilizer. But not only that, but when applied when you spray it on as a foliar feed to plants, it is an excellent insect repellent.
So you can spray this onto the plants, on top of the plants?
Straight onto the leaves. And the leaves will absorb the nutrients through the leaves.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you'll see that there's no more white flies, no more hover flies.
So you're basically avoiding also then using pesticides.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's a 100% organic solution.
Okay.
For farmers. Yeah. So the gas comes out, goes up the pipe. We have our pipes to maintain portability. The system is extremely portable, which also means that when you get used to gas, you are going to want more. We're humans. We just want more of it. So you can upgrade from a smaller system to a larger system. We'll even trade it in for you and offset the cost of a new one. It also means that if you suddenly want to put up a building here, you can pick this digester up and move it over there.
Right. So it's not because it's not a big concrete underground thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
you
so
can't move the concrete ones. Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's keep going before my battery dies.
Okay. So the gas comes out.
It goes up through those pipes.
Yeah. In this instance, we've got what we call a manifold here, or a fuse box. It's a distribution box where we've got numerous different points of use.
Okay. Come with me and explain to me this. Looks like a work of art, actually.
So this is digester 1, digester 2, and digester 3. Those 3 over there. So depending on which one you turn on, that's the one you're going to be using.
So this all looks really homemade. This is amazing.
This is just off-the-shelf plumbing components.
So basically, anybody can create a digester system using just things you can buy in the normal hardware shops.
Yeah, the maintenance components of the system are very, very straightforward. So we don't need, if something goes wrong with the digester and it's plumbing related, you can use a local plumber to repair it. You don't need to call us.
So there's nothing too high-tech about it. What's this funny gadget down here?
This is a pressure. There's a pipe connecting here to here. What it does is it measures the pressure of the gas. So we tried all kinds of different electronic devices for measuring the pressure. We couldn't. It's below 0.3 psi, which is very, very low. So this was a water balance, a spirit level system, where when this has got liquid in it, liquid going down, you'd see it rising on this tube. You do a bit of maths, and you can get the pressure of the gas.
Sounds a bit too tech for a lady in the village. Let's see. Show me the chickens, because I'm really fascinated by this idea that you can actually raise chickens.
Okay. Do you want to see the fire first?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So here is the demonstration kitchen. So it's just a normal stove?
It's a normal stove. What's his name has turned it off. Let me turn it back on.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Turned it back on?
Yeah.
You do know you're live on
Yes.
Facebook, right?
Yeah. Now methane is very, very safe in that when it rises up, because it's lighter than air, it's rising up. But by the time it gets to somewhere around here, it's totally non-combustible below that level.
There we have it, a blue flame.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're saying that unlike other gases, if it leaks, it's not dangerous, it's not going to poison you, you're not going to die.
It's
not going to explode.
No, can't explode. It's very bad for the environment, so you don't want it to be leaking. You don't want it to be
just like any gas,
escaping.
I guess. So it's not going to explode, which I think is really important, because a lot of people are scared of gas and they think that if I do something that looks a bit jokali or a little bit homemade, maybe the gas will come out and the gas will, I don't know, poison me or explode and blow my whole house up. You're saying that can't happen?
No, LPG is deadly poisonous as a gas, number one. Number two, it's heavier than air. So when it spills because there's a leak, it collects on the floor of your
So that's the normal gas you get in the tanks you buy in the supermarket?
Liquid petroleum gas. Yeah. Butane, propane. Now, the minute you turn on a light and that gas is collected in the room, you have an explosion. That's what makes methane butane, propane, so dangerous.
Yeah.
But methane is lighter than air. So what it does is when it leaks, it will rise up and it goes and messes with the ozone layer and thins the ozone layer, which is why it's considered a greenhouse gas. But because as it rises, it gets more and more dilute. And then by the time it's gone up, it's gone. So it doesn't hang around in your house. So it's non-explosive.
So it has a very different way of dispersing than normal
Precisely.
LPG. Okay, let's go see with the chickens. All right, so these pipes are all over the place. Here they are, more pipes.
Yeah. So I've just turned that off. In the poultry business, what you normally have is
I'm going to have to come on the other side of you because it's too bright. Okay.
So what you normally have in the poultry business is you have the hatcheries selling day-old chicks because they do it en masse. And you take them home and you have to brood them because they don't have the hen. So you've got to keep them warm for 15 to 20 days. So people use charcoal. Now, what if you think about charcoal, you've lost 70% of the energy in the wood in chopping down a tree. Just making the charcoal, you lose 70%.
Because you've already burnt most of it off.
Exactly. So you've made it lighter and easy to transport. That's the advantage of charcoal versus firewood. Now, when you put it in the brooder, because it gives off deadly carbon monoxide and other gases, you have to have a very well ventilated room. Now, don't forget, heat rises. So the heat rising from your brooder, that is normally about 1.5 feet off the ground, the heat rises up and goes straight out of the vents. So you're losing 90% of the remaining heat. So
it's incredibly inefficient.
Extremely inefficient. You're only getting a small amount of radiant heat off the actual brooder, radiating back down to the ground where the birds are.
So charcoal is just a ridiculous way of warming up your chicks,
basically. It's a huge waste of the forests.
So tell me what you're doing here.
So what we're doing is we said, well, why are we heating birds from above? Why not heat them from below? So we put our chickens in a special...
Sounds like cooking them.
Yeah.
Oh, hello chicks.
And they're walking on a wire mesh. Now all of their droppings are falling through. The box, as you can see, is pretty well lined with plastic all the way around, plastic paper.
Okay.
It's transparent at the top and the side, so you can actually see inside. So it's very easy to
check on them.
Check on your birds. Now underneath...
Very simple.
Yeah, very simple. Underneath, we've got this curtain that opens up. And we've got this very, very expensive brooder.
Look at this thing. That looks like a cooking pot.
These are rare. Yeah?
Oh my god, that's a cooking pot with holes in it, okay. And there's a bit of Mabati corrugated iron.
Yeah, a windshield.
Yeah. And there is a metal pipe.
Yeah, a commercial Bunsen burner. Yeah, you can put together from bits and bobs from the any hardware
homemade
store.
Bunsen burner. Okay, yeah. And then
you turn the gas on. So you regulate the gas from here. So I'll just show you how you turn it on to full. You're going to get a flame like that. Now you turn the flame right down to around that size. Yeah.
Okay, so the flame is barely visible.
Yeah, during the daylight, methane, it's a biogas flame is almost invisible. So if you lift the camera up, you can see it there.
You can see the flame. Okay, I can see it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Ooh, it's nice and warm already.
Yeah, you put that expensive top on it.
So that's your radiator.
Exactly.
That's amazing, and that's it.
That's it.
Sufuria 100 bob, Mabati maybe 50 bob.
Yeah. And you close that, and all the heat rises up. And because the box is, like I said, almost sealed, you're heating only the space where the birds are. You're not heating up the whole room.
And that's interesting because the gas is generated from the chicken's poop itself.
Exactly. So the chicken poop is going down. You're cleaning it from the floor, putting it in the digester,
right.
And they're getting the gas. Now the chickens will only use 1/3 of the amount of gas they use, which means the other 2/3 are going to your kitchen.
So that's so interesting. Have you worked out the actual energy efficiency of using biogas for chicks versus charcoal?
There's no comparison. I mean, this is super, super efficient in comparison. Cost-wise, if you look at the cost of it, it's free. Actually, it's a benefit because you can now start minusing the amount of fuel you're using in the house.
So all those women
it's a subtraction.
Who are not collecting firewood now are raising chickens. Is that what's happening?
The idea is this is what they're doing. So some have copied. Some have, well, we give them the design of the brooder box and tell them go and make it. I mean, you can feel that. Put your hand in there. You can already feel the heat, how warm it is. Yeah.
Wow, it's so nice. Especially today is so cold. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Yeah,
That's
so
incredible.
we let out we send them the design of the actual brooder box and the specifications of the brooder. The system uses less than 1,000 liters of gas per day. So the larger system will give you 3,000 liters of gas per day. So you've got plenty of gas to do this, plus to do your cooking, plus to do other stuff.
So basically taking women away from just being
Yeah,
collectors of
generating income.
firewood to being businesswomen, producing food and actually supporting the whole drive for food security in Kenya.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Great,
Now
thank you.
they can sell these birds at a lot of people are now selling birds after brooding. They're not waiting to fatten them or to take them all the way to layers. So you can actually sell these birds much more competitively after 3 weeks after brooding, because cost you.
The cost is almost nothing.
The cost is almost nothing for the brooding.
Of course,
Yeah.
course.
So it
That's
gives you the
incredible.
against others.
It's a
Yeah.
massive advantage. Thank you, Dominic. Really appreciate it.